In the heart of Oyo, far from the king's palace and the busy trade roads, there was a village called Ajekbe. Ajekbe was not rich, not powerful, not known in songs, but it was alive. By the day, the air smelled of roasted maize and palm oil. The market women shouted prices. Children chased goats through the dusty square. And hunters come back with bushmeat slung over their shoulders. By night, the villagers gathered around the fires. The young men beat drums. The elders told stories. And the moon shone so bright that even the shadows danced. Ajekbe was a happy place. Until the signs began. It started with silence. One night, the forest fell quiet. No crickets, no frogs, not even the hoot of an owl. Babatunde, the palm wine tapper, was the first to notice. He came back from his palm trees, pale and sweating. He told the elders, "In the forest, I heard drums, not the drums of men. No, these drums were deep, slow, heavy. They did not come from the air. They came from the ground." The people laughed nervously. Drums from the ground? Old man, maybe you drank too much palm wine. But Mama Folake, the oldest woman in Ajekbe, shook her head. Her voice was low, almost like a whisper. The ground remembers the dead, and sometimes the dead remember us. Her words chilled the night. 2 nights later, Adekunle the hunter returned from the bush just before sunset. His steps were fast, his breath heavy, and his bow trembled in his hand. The villagers gathered. "Adekunle, what is it? Did you see a lion?" He shook his head violently. "No, something worse. Footprints, hundreds of them, leading from the old burial ground toward Ajekbe." The people murmured, "Footprints? Of who?" Adekunle's voice cracked. "They were not footprints of men. They were wide, flat, with no toes, no heels, as if something heavy was dragging itself through the soil." The villagers exchanged fearful looks. That night, no one slept easily. 3 nights later, the whispers began. Mama Tayo, a widow who lived at the edge of the village, said she heard someone calling her name softly. "Mama Tayo, Mama Tayo." She opened her door, but the compound was empty. Later, she swore she saw her late husband, Oba, standing by the Iroko tree. His eyes were pale as the moon. His lips did not move. Yet, the voice came again. "Mama Tayo, come." She screamed until her neighbors rushed out. But when they looked, nothing was there. That night, every household in Ajekbe locked their doors tight. Yet, the voices still came, calling names, dragging people toward the dark. On the 7th night, the drums came again, not from the village square, not from human hands, but from deep under the ground. The earth shook with each beat. Children cried, mothers prayed. The elders sat in the shrine, trembling. Mama Folake said only one thing: these are not drums for the living. These are the drums of those who want to dance again. That was the night fear truly entered Ajegbe. On the 10th night, just after midnight, the first dead man walked. Mama Kemi was grinding pepper in her hut when she heard a knock. She frowned. Who is knocking at this hour? She opened the door slowly and dropped her pistol. Standing there was her brother, Tolu. But Tolu had died 5 years ago. His body was grey, his eyes pale, his lips cracked and bleeding. He wore the same burial cloth that they had wrapped him in. He did not speak. He only lifted his hand and pointed toward the forest. Behind him, more shadows were moving. The villagers screamed. Drums boomed louder beneath the earth. The people ran from their huts. Some carried children, others carried charms, but the dead kept coming. Fathers, mothers, children, all pale, all silent, all walking back from their graves. Chief Ade, the head of Ajegbe, shouted in fear, "Close the shrine, lock the gates, do not let them reach the square." But the gates burst open on their own. The dead poured in like floodwater. At the shrine, the old priest stood with his staff of iron. His voice shook as he called out, "Back! Go back to your graves! By the spirit of Oyo, I command you!" But the dead did not listen. They moved closer, their bodies dragging, their arms reaching. Then, from among them, a voice rose, deep, hollow, ancient. "You beat the drums for us. Now we have come." The people froze. Who had beaten the drums? No one knew. But Mama Folake whispered, "The earth itself has memories. When it wants to call, it will." By midnight, the whole village was surrounded. The forest pressed closer, mist crawling across the ground. The sky was black, no stars, no moon, only the glow of pale eyes in the dark. The villagers huddled together in the square. Children cried, women prayed, men clutched their machetes through their hands. The drums grew deafening. The ground split open. Cracks ran through the square, through the huts, through the shrine. From the earth rose more bodies. Skeletons wrapped in tattered clothes. Skulls grinning. The dead were everywhere. Then came the final voice. It was not human. it was not alive. It was the voice of the earth itself. Ajekbe belongs to us. By dawn, nothing remained. No huts, no markets, no voices. Only an empty clearing in the forest, as if a village had never stood there. The path that once led to Ajekbe ended in wide grass. The well was gone, even the shrine vanished. It was as if Ajekbe has been swallowed whole. But sometimes, on moonless nights, hunters passes through Oyo saying they still hear it. And if you listen too closely, you may hear a voice calling your name.